A day's driving had left us tired. We pulled up in the Griers car into a motel and slept on the top of the bed together. I looked over at the boy as he slept near my arm. His eyes shut tightly, his nose breathing in and out. He looked like a smooth statue. I wondered how an innocent as him had taken what he must have seen. Should such a beauty see such horror in his life? And his father snatched away from him, leaving him in the clutches of people like the Griers. How can a son be at peace whilst his father is away? I placed my hand on his firm head of hair. Whether it was to more comfort me or to him, I am not sure, as I felt for that little boy, who now found himself journeying with me. I got up from the bed and pulled back the curtains. I looked out at this desolate scene in which we were players tonight. Looking back at the boy cuddled up in a womb, cuddled up like in the womb on the bed, I saw the two distinct views of life, the happy, the sad. I returned to the bed and tried to get to sleep. Next thing I knew, it was morning and I awoke. "Hello, Dad," spoke the boy, before opening his eyes upon me. The stranger journeyed with, realizing I was not his beloved father. He apologized. I laughed, although the moment deep inside me had touched me. He asked where we were. I said I wasn't too sure. How far the Griers' house was from the bridge I had left the bus on, I was not sure. The boy went to the kitchen area of this small room and rummaged in the cupboards and started preparing some food. As he did so, I rubbed my eyes and remembered a dream I had. I saw an explosion in the distance. Then the wind blew fast, and then houses came down. Then I saw the fog drifting of water, maybe an ocean. Then I saw inside a house a man sat on a high chair, almost like those found in publican houses. He was fast asleep, his mouth wide open. Dribble dripping from his mouth into his orange beard. I knew the invisible fog was blowing at his door. Then I saw the fog form a light grey material around the man, and then suddenly the man's false teeth fell from his mouth. The wig of white firm hair slipped from his head, leaving a shining bald patch except for the hair around his ears. Then his false leg fell from his trouser and dropped loudly on the wooden floor with a thump, and to the end his disgrace. Then his false eye popped out of its socket and rolled on the floor to my feet, which is where I appeared in the dream. I bent down and picked up the false eye to study it, and it was at that moment I had awoken. I thought to myself, what a strange and surreal dream. At least, though, it was better than the horrid dreams I had about the Overgates, Jenny, and the things I had witnessed. But I wondered, could this dream have some kind of meaning? Maybe it was a collection of things I'd seen to do with the effects the fog causes. I thought of it no more, and tucked into the eggs and tomatoes the boy had prepared. Jason and I went through some of the rooms in order to find ourselves some new clothes, which we managed to find and put on, after having a shower to clean off some of the filth we'd picked up at the Griers' house. We found a van outside the motel and drove in this instead of the Griers' car, not wanting me or the boy to think any more what had occurred there, including the horrific death of Edward Grier. We travelled through a lot of little roads, but none of them seemed familiar. We drove all night and stopped the car when it was too dark to see, the van's light not working. The boy slept fully stretched out on the back seat, while I got out and leant on the bonnet. The wind blowing through my hair, I placed my hand upon my face, which was met with a brush-like facial hair that had been allowed to grow. I sat there looking to the trees to my left, the stars above me. It was amazing to me that man could still find such beauty, that such beauty could still exist. What a waste, I thought, all this beauty on such cruel creatures as mankind, who mostly take for granted their lot, do as they please, foregoing any kind of conscience of their actions. Yet I knew for the few good ones that was which this paradise on earth was meant. The night fell, the dawn rose, and the morning was upon us. The car chugged away as smoke left a trail of our existence, and we were once again on our journey. The boy recognized the set of streets. He did not think it was the same city which I had left the bus, where his father had been kidnapped, But it was close, he felt. One particular house got him excited. He said that his grandmother lived there. I thought it a good idea to go there. There I should leave the boy while I was alone, try to find his father. At least in her company he would not feel strange. I stopped the car outside the house. I went to knock on the door. The boy said, "Don't worry, the key's under the mat. That way she doesn't forget where she puts it." Not a very safe place, I felt, but maybe now it was the safest place it could be. We went inside. I looked downstairs, filled the kettle up in the dingy kitchen, plates with old food on them, and put it on the stove, lit it with a box of matches left open. The boy, meanwhile, was up the stairs looking for his grandmother. He came running down, a piece of paper in his hand. He waved it frantically at me as the kettle began to whistle. The note read, "Dear Daniel," his father's name, "I found your grandmother unwell, and I've taken her to the nearby St. Mary's Hospital, where they are looking after the sick now." I turned the steaming kettle off, and we left the kitchen, the house, and back into the car. We drove up the road looking for the hospital for the sick.